Hello and welcome. Just wanted to update you on the situation right now with the markets and with the news and where we actually can head next. So it's not completely clear situation right now. There are like bullish news, there are bearish news, and there are news to be awaited. So for example, the biggest one we are still waiting for is actually what will happen with Israel and Iran conflict and how Israel actually is going to respond to Iran attack. So that can also move the market. The secondly, also we had a very bearish CPI report. Basically, inflation is higher than expected, not near the 2% target. So therefore, also there will be less than three times quantitative easing this year. So probably two times, probably one. So and that is also the bearish news. And but from the bullish point of view, actually there is this new Chinese Bitcoin ETF and also Ethereum ETF. They are not trading yet, but they are accepted. So most likely they will be starting trading in a month or so. So, and also halving is just a day away. With that all being said, basically we are like 50-50 right now. Market is also uh, a little bit slower right now. Less volumes are traded. And as we can see in previous days, that basically also there is this ETF outflow seen from the institutions. So let's begin one by one. First of all, fear and greed index is back to neutral. Already told you in the previous video that we are pretty much nicely on the support. So that is a very healthy correction, and those corrections used to happen quite often in the bull runs. For example, it's normal to see three times Bitcoin fall for 35%, and we haven't seen even that yet. So let's check all the other information as well. Let's go now to the chart. For example, Bitcoin chart right now looks like that we actually have fall down from the nearly 74. Let's see how much percentage wise it is actually right now. So it's only 19%. So if we think about this as one of those large corrections, then there is still a way to go. 31, 32%, that is actually then the most likely scenario. It's 52k, 53k, so 50, 52k. That's what I see for the Bitcoin. Maybe we will get there, maybe not. So if you are, for example, considering to jump in the over investment funds, then right now is actually a pretty good time. We recently launched also Smart Invest Fund, which is also based on the Smart Invest concepts. So it's still risky, of course, but you can't make large gains without a risk in the markets. So, for example, if we start like right now in this region, basically it's trading currently Ethereum and Arbitrum. But for example, if we see even the Bitcoin down to 50, it's just great opportunity to buy more there, buy more there, buy more there, and buy even three times more there on this basically the low point if we get there. If we don't get there, we just start to make money on the way up already faster. So basically there we are prepared for the both scenarios. The same applies also for VIP account that still is doing, of course it's in the minus right now because basically we have fallen for the altcoins quite a lot. And regards that, I also want to mention that basically for the altcoins I do not see that much fall anymore because, for example, yesterday there was pretty much was divergence in the markets because the Bitcoin itself was falling a lot. However, the altcoins were doing really nothing. So, and that means that there is currently a much more potential for the Bitcoin to fall, but much less potential for the altcoins to fall, because the altcoins currently, for example, if I uh, look on the Arbitrum, then Arbitrum is currently trading almost on the IPO price, and trading on the level, basically it was standing for months. So therefore, there is like quite hard to get much lower. Okay, we can fall maybe to 0.8, but basically we have been already there, so we can make like a double bottom in the worst case scenario, but it's pretty hard to imagine that we fall even lower. So therefore, also right now it's basically reacting strong even when there is a small movement upwards. So therefore, altcoins currently are probably the safer bet than the Bitcoin itself, because on the Bitcoin chart that we saw, then basically it's like hanging on the cliff right now, and it can easily drop down to the 50-52k region, especially if this actual ETF outflow continue. And if we go to this ETF outflow, then we can see that yesterday actually there was pretty much of the outflow happening. And if you look on actually the table, then we see that really almost anybody was selling or doing nothing. So only iShares Bitcoin ETF was buying a little bit, but also there the amount of buying is actually reduced. So therefore, the most of the funds are just waiting right now. Let's go to the liquidations. On the short time frame, we see currently building up large volume on the longs. So this is the stop loss for the longs, standing at 59,600. Okay, but that's one risky one. I think that can be hit. That can be hit. But let's see. Probably the market will go up. The main reason is the main thing is that you have to be prepared for the both case scenarios always, for the bearish momentum and also for the bullish pattern. As we can see in the larger time frame, there is this huge volume standing at 71.6, 71, 72 basically. There are the stop losses for the shorts. However, it's not that correct to currently look on that, because they are the shorts open right now, and if we are going upwards there will be a lot of short closed, definitely. So it's hard, it won't be possible to liquidate that much of the shorts here. Then we have to have something very fast movement upwards, but it's currently it's not likely to happen. So that's about the liquidation heat map. We can also check how much, for example, have been liquidated in the past. And if we look to the table, then there we had those two very bad days. There also a little bit bleeding was my VIP account. So if you have lots of money there, you can easily contact me. I am feel free to actually give you the education with the very large discounts, or even for free, if you are willing to actually learn how to do these things into the markets. Because the markets, and if you want to be the markets, especially if you want to make hundreds of percent, even if you want to make thousands of percent, that's definitely is risky. So, and that this means the risk, this is that risk. So that's how I said always how I have said it always, and if you do not take it into account, that's basically then you are responsible for your decision. That's why I say that basically maximum you can invest in copy trading is 10% from your crypto portfolio. However, currently and onwards, we will have different levels of the risk for the account. There is definitely will be one which is with the projection to make 20, 30%, even 50% per month. And that on the annual basis basically means a lot. That can make really good amount of money into annual basis. Let's go to compound compound interest calculator. And then you will see that basically what does it means if we make a percent per day, what does it means actually in the end of the year. So let's go, let's check it out. For example, you start with the $1,000. Let's go daily interest 1%, year 1 year. So let's calculate basically, that's it. Let's calculate. Let's calculate. So basically from 1000 we make 23k after one single year, and that is 2321%. And that is pretty much possible with our strategies into the market. So why I say so? Because we have backtested on the different timeframes, on the different market conditions. So these numbers are quite possible. Of course, there are few times per year when we have to be also a little bit lucky. There probably can be few times per year where we need to add on a little bit on the liquidity. But what does that means? That basically, for example, here you start with $1,000. We have this crisis situation probably in 2-3 months time. Then what can happen that I ask you to add maybe 50%, maybe something like that on the account a little bit more. So, and then actually your initial balance will be 1.5k, and that's it. That's the difference. And even then, if you look, for example, here are 24k, then you have invested one or one and a half, maybe two, but you have made anyways. You have made the thousands of percent. So, and therefore, currently, when the market have already dropped, it's pretty nice moment when actually to begin. And that's how the markets work. That's how the markets work. When they are bleeding, when there is everyone panicking, that's the best time to actually start and jump in. Of course, there are sometimes some losses, sometimes some wins, but in general, in the longer time frame, you make a really good gains. So, with that being said, of course, it's up to you. Past results do not guarantee the future results. Also, past losses do not guarantee the future losses. So, and also the past profits do not guarantee the future profits. But in the life, it's all about the risk and return. And in this case, I believe to make thousands of percent per year by just following for the copy trading account, putting in some money, and then maybe 2-3 times a year add a little bit to the balance if there is this crisis situation. If there is not, you do nothing. So I think if you put it that way, that you on the one side you put this job put into this thing, and on the other side you put the return potential, it's pretty good thing to do, right? There are not many businesses where you can have such returns. There are not many jobs where you can have such returns. There is basically not that much opportunities in the world where you can have such nice return opportunity. So, and that being said, this is just a smart way how to allocate some smaller percentage of the money. Of course, this is for the risky account. There will be also a lot less riskier account where there can be put a lot larger amounts of the money, and there will be also account on the indices or index funds or the stock baskets basically, which are almost zero risk to be on the big losses. Just there, of course, always when you are in the markets, it fluctuates. There will be always periods when you are down from the actual value invested in the beginning, especially in the first months, maybe in the first year after you invest. But in the longer time frame, you will be in really good gains. So and regards the indices and index funds trading, then there actually you can put a lot larger percentages of your investment portfolios and still make 10 times more than actually index fund makes itself. With that being said, I also want to share with you the latest fund, which is Smart Invest. Currently running for 3 4 days probably. Market is doing nothing much. It's made some gains in the beginning, 2.28%. It basically shows right now. It can go also in the minus in first months. It's quite normal, and that's how it is. So in the longer time frame, there will be no issues with this account, I believe, because we are currently already a lot down, and this is basically based on the altcoins. So it's up to you to decide. Make your own research. Probably many of you are new to trading, and then you have to learn this, that basically there is this fluctuation, there is these risks, because it's not that simple to make huge gains. It's not that simple to beat the market. But it's always you have to put in perspective those two baskets, the risk and the potential return, and the amount of job you have to actually put in to make this potential return. So and then you evaluate those baskets, and then you make your own decision. So thank you for your attention. See you next time.